Where is the world in saying, yeah, do that, end this, stop the suffering?
Where is the world? They're not here because nobody cares about what Israel does. No, it doesn't matter what Israel does, good or bad. We've seen this from the beginning. Provide electricity, bad. Provide water, bad. The world is fixated on demonizing Israel. Arab countries and Muslim countries could be doing the same thing 10 times worse on a scale 10 times bigger, and nobody's looking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your sweet Zionist prince back with the news. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a really interesting episode today. We're going to be looking at Antony Blinken. He's getting ready to step down from power right now. He's getting ready to replace himself with the Trump administration. And there was an interview that came out with the New York Times podcast. This lady who interviewed him in a very leftist sort of anti-Israel biased fashion. This interview was not very conducive towards any even moderate or balanced perspective on Israel. The words genocide were floated multiple times, and the word this and that was floated multiple times. So I'm going to let Antony Blinken speak for himself. A beautiful quote was brought out from him via a fellow Zionist advocate on Instagram, Hen Mazig. If you guys don't know who he is, his content is pretty fantastic most of the times. I don't agree with everything he says. He quoted him. We're going to go through this a little bit. We'll talk about it.
You hear virtually nothing from anyone since October 7th about Hamas. Why there hasn't been a unanimous chorus around the world for Hamas to put down its weapons, to give up the hostages, to surrender. I don't know what the answer is to that.
Well, you do know what the answer is to that. It's anti-Semitism. That's the reason why. The lives of Israelis, the lives of Jews have stopped mattering. 2023, Jewish lives did not matter. In the same way that people went out on the streets to march for Black Lives Matter, for Asian Lives Matter, for everybody's life that matters, Jewish lives did not matter. They do not matter. The worst crimes against humanity could be placed on the Jewish people, could be done to the Jewish people the way we saw on October 7th, and nobody was willing to condemn it. I mean, they were willing to condemn it for a span of 24 hours until we retaliated, and then the whole world flipped on us, now going deeper than what happened pre-October 7th. So we're at a point we've reverted further back. And I do think that your administration, Joe Biden, and you, Antony Blinken, have completely botched stepping up for the Jewish people who have made your country wonderful, who have made your country great. I'm sorry, nothing bad to say about Palestinian Americans, nothing bad to say about Muslim Americans, but to just compare the contributions of Muslim Americans and Jewish Americans, right? Israelis and the whole Muslim Ummah, the Arab world, towards America. It's not even remotely comparable. You got to show support for your friends. You stand up for your friends. When your friends need you, you stand up for them. That's when you come in and you do everything for your friends. When your friends get attacked in a senseless declaration of war that ends the lives of women, children, elderly men, elderly women, young females. You don't flip-flop. You stand emboldened with your friend, the same way that your friend would stand emboldened with you. But that's not what we've seen out of your administration. And throughout this entire interview, I do recommend you guys watch the whole thing. It's a pretty shit interview, if I'm being completely honest. It's 50 minutes of a lot of garbage and Antony Blinken sort of flip-flopping. He does say some things like what we're about to see right now that is, I would say, I do give him props for. But yeah, overall, it's very disappointing.
Israel on various occasions has offered safe passage to Hamas's leadership and fighters out of Gaza. Where is the world? Where is the world in saying, yeah, do that, end this, stop the suffering?
Where is the world? Where is the world? They're not here because nobody cares about what Israel does. No, it doesn't matter what Israel does, good or bad. We've seen this from the beginning. Provide electricity, bad. Provide water, bad. Provide aid, bad. It doesn't matter what Israel does. The world is fixated on demonizing Israel. Mind you, the only Jewish state on planet Earth that exists, the only one. But again, Arab countries and Muslim countries could be doing the same thing 10 times worse on a scale 10 times bigger, and nobody's looking. Nobody's caring. Where is the world, Antony Blinken? Where is the world? And let me just tell you, you guys haven't really helped in that regard. You haven't helped.
Of people that you brought on, I do have to question how it is we haven't seen a greater sustained condemnation and pressure on Hamas to stop what it started and to end the suffering of people that it initiated.
You know, and that's the biggest thing. It's like the racism of low expectations. That's the term. It's that you guys in the West are so racist against Arabs and Muslims. You see them as so incapable of stepping up to the plate or achieving nothing that they get zero condemnation. And you see this in the UN. You see this in leftist news sites. You see this in predominantly, I would say, by white liberal leftists in the West. You see this across Europe with your Greta Thunbergs. You are so racist against brown people, against Arabs, against Muslims in this region, that you don't even think they're capable of stepping up to the plate. So you just demonize the whole side that you deem to be white. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I ain't white. I'm never going to be white. No matter how much white colonizer you try to project on me, I will never change. And guess what? I'm smart. I'm intelligent. So is my family. So are my friends who are the same color skin as me. Your racism doesn't fly here. Sorry. Try again in a different region. Put that shit somewhere else. Arabs are capable of greatness. So are Muslims. They just don't do it 99% of the time. There's a small exception. Arabs and Muslims and the Muslim Ummah and the Arab world is capable of being normal, civilized people. They just don't do it. They don't do it because they themselves are racist. They themselves are too busy being racist. And this is my problem with this, is that he's asking these questions so naively, like, why isn't it happening? Are you kidding me, Anthony Blinken? You've met with the leaders of Iran. You've met with the leaders of Lebanon. You've met with the leaders of Egypt. You know how racist and backwards these people are. You know firsthand how backwards these people are. Why not just call it how it is? And that's what I am. I got a comment recently on the channel. Somebody said I kept on bringing Trump. And look, I got to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to the change in Trump. I want my life to improve. I want my family's life to improve. I want the life of everybody in the Middle East to improve. And I have a feeling, I can't say for certain, I have a feeling that with Trump it will. I have a feeling that with Trump we'll start moving towards the right direction. What I appreciate about Trump is I feel like if he was in the same position, he would actually take the moment to talk smack about these people, to put them in their place, to condemn them. Anthony Blinken and the Joe Biden administration doesn't do that. They're too PC for me. We got to start calling it out for what it is. That's why you're having terrorist attacks in America right now. That's why those things are happening in America right now. It's because you called for it. You asked for it. You guys didn't deny it. You guys never called it out. You never condemned it. You were too fixated on offending Muslims in America when most moderate Muslims don't want to involve themselves with this stuff. It's all so frustrating.
So close on several occasions. And as we speak today, we're also very close. There have been two major impediments, and they both go to what drives Hamas. One has been whenever there has been public daylight between the United States and Israel and the perception that pressure was growing on Israel, we've seen it. Hamas has pulled back from agreeing to a ceasefire and the release of hostages.
Because they're sadistic and they don't care about their people.
And the focus on getting a ceasefire hostage agreement was what was, in our estimation, the quickest and most durable way to get an end. And as I said, Hamas won. When they saw Israel under pressure publicly, they pulled back. You hear virtually nothing from anyone since October 7th.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world to exist in this country and to see what's going on here on day to day, and to also be intaking the news and the politics from around the region and see that we get condemned day in, day out for everything. Israel could breathe. Citizens of Israel breathe. They just take a breath. How dare you breathe the same air as the Arabs? This is Arab Muslim land. Are you kidding me right now? We are not the problem in the Middle East. For every Arab who is watching this, and I don't care if you're a moderate Arab, moderate Muslim, if you appreciate Israel or you don't, you are the problem. And if you don't speak out against your own people and their bullshit ways, you are the problem. We are not the problem. I had a Moroccan woman, a Muslim Moroccan woman, and she grew up Muslim. She's not Muslim anymore. She's pro-Israel. From Twitter, messaged me last night. She says, I wonder why the Arab world, why the Muslim world is so threatened by you guys. We're 7 million. You guys are 400 million Arabs. 2 billion in the world. Surrounding us. North, south, east, west. We don't have one Christian country near us. North, south, east, west, it's millions of Muslims as far as the eye can see. And you're so threatened by us, by a population that's as big as one of your biggest cities. Why is it that you guys feel we control your life, that we control your world? Why not step up to the plate? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps the way that my grandparents did when they were kicked out of Iraq, and build your own life for yourself instead of blaming the Zionists and blaming the Jews. I want to see the world be a better place. I want the Middle East to thrive. But y'all have your shits twisted, man. It's all twisted. Your panties are in a bunch. Anyways, and I say this with love to Arabs and Muslims who are watching me. I know that it may offend you because I'm offensive. I'm not trying to be nice to you. I'm trying to be mean to you because I love you, because I want to see yourself prop up. And you know what the biggest feedback is that I get on this channel from Arabs? You know, the biggest thing is there's a lot of Arabs and a lot of Muslims who watch my content. One, I think because I'm a Mizrahi Jew and because I didn't serve in the army, people respect me more from the Arab world. They're willing to actually sit down to listen to what I have to say because they don't see me as like a baby killer or something like that, which is not what the IDF does in any way, shape, or form. Everybody in my family served in the IDF. Everyone in my family is a veteran, except for my precious grandma, who we love so much, who's a woman, so she didn't go in the 50s. The biggest feedback I get is the fact that I'm so ruthless with my words, and the fact that I speak so off the cuff, and the way that I'm not afraid to make fun, to poke fun, to be mean, is how I end up getting the Arabs on my side. Is how I get the Arabs and the Muslims to watch me, to actually appreciate my message. Because I call them on their bullshit. I call them on the things that they know that they're wrong about. And everybody else is too busy. And I will even say Jews in the West are too busy. They're too afraid to make this engagement. They're too afraid to say, hey, Muslims, you have a freaking problem. You have a massive problem. Arabs, you have a problem. Christian Arabs, Muslim Arabs, atheist Arabs. You guys got to keep your side in check. We are not the problem in this region. You unequivocally are. Fix your shit. Back to the video. This was just one quick excerpt I wanted to talk about.
Do you, Secretary Blinken, worry that perhaps you have been presiding over what the world will see as a genocide?
No. It's not, first of all.
Good answer.
Second, as to how the world sees it, I can't fully answer to that.
He gets nervous here, and I'll let you guys, again, I'm never one to like try to take from another creator, even though it is the New York Times and they can sincerely go F themselves. But I will say, go watch the video, support obviously the interview, watch the whole thing, and feel free to criticize and demonize it if you want in your own way. What I will say, he gave the correct answer in that way, but you can tell he tenses up, he gets nervous, because it's not the correct thing to say on the left. Obviously, on the left, it's a genocide, it's an apartheid, it's this and that. Okay. For anybody who's watching this video, let me arm you with facts real quick, okay? If you want to go out and protest for Israel, if you want to promote Israel, if you want to talk to your friends who are anti-Israel and you want to give the right message, here's the facts, okay? The highest estimates of people who have been unalived is 42,000. And that number comes from Hamas, not Gaza Health Ministry, not the UN, Hamas. It comes from the terrorist group that started the war and did the actual genocide on Jewish people on October 7th, the real genocide, okay? That's 42,000. That's the highest estimate. It does not make any distinction between woman, child, combatant, or political terrorist leaders like Yahya Sinwar, who is a part of those 42,000, okay? That's their number. According to the IDF, the estimates are as high as 20,000 killed combatants, okay? So even if you're going to believe the highest estimates of Hamas and the highest estimates of the IDF, just to be fair, there's only 20,000 that have been killed. Amongst those 20,000, reports recently came out that 6,000 have died from natural causes. So that brings the number down to 14,000, okay? 14,000, besides the 14,000 have been killed, 60,000 babies have been born in Gaza this last year. In 2024, for all the genocide that's been happening, more babies have been born in Gaza than even the highest potential of people killed. That's all you need to know. You could even go the highest estimates. The highest estimates. Some people throw around the number 100,000. 60,000 babies have been killed. Have been born. The population of Gaza is higher now than it was at the beginning of the war. The population of Palestinians are tenfold higher now than they were at 1948 when the apparent genocide ethnic cleansing happened. The Palestinian cause is a sham. It's a scam. It is a lie. Unequivocally. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It doesn't mean that their suffering doesn't exist. Their suffering exists, mostly by their own hands, because they come from an anti-Semitic society. Yes, that's the truth. Sorry, we got to be real. I just want to arm you guys with some facts. I love you all very much, and I appreciate you watching my videos. Please consider supporting my channel because almost all my videos are demonetized, and I really need the money to continue doing this stuff. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, Clats.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to monetarily support the channel. Some of the best ways to support me happen to be PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining our Patreon community. Links to them can be found in the pinned comments or the description of every one of my videos. Joining my Patreon community gives you access to exclusive content and the chance to talk to me on our Discord server. I also go live almost every day here on YouTube. And after my live streams, me and my patrons from Patreon head over to our Discord server to an exclusive after-party hangout. Your support is the only way that I can keep creating the content that you love watching for me. Thank you.